Hello, my friends. I hope everybody's doing well today. I know that all of my fellow Americans have a big decision to make in a couple of days, and I really do hope that you're paying attention to what's going on. I'm not going to go one side or the other, but I'm going to talk what I see. I try to stay out of this. I try to stay middle of the road, and I agree with a lot of people that when you're a lot of entertainers and different actors, and they're up there trying to push you some way, and they have maybe some agenda. But I see, and with this upcoming election, the biggest problem I see is that with the whole Democratic Party, and by the way, I was a registered Democrat back when I lived in the United States, and I've changed over since living over here in the past few years, but I have my reasons. So I'm going to talk from both sides of this. I can understand that Donald Trump, for a lot of you, can be offensive in different ways. He's kind of brash, and he's not a politician, he's a businessman. From this, it's understandable. Um, Understanding what the world was during Obama time, and we've seen it, and there was a reason people wanted change when he left office. There was a reason that Donald Trump became president. And what I see now is that a lot of powers to be, just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that they're necessarily not the right person for a job. I've worked for a lot of people in my lifetime that were great managers, bosses for the company on the payroll. And I didn't always agree with the way they got something done, but they were effective, and they, at the end of the day, the project was finished, and it was beneficial for all the parties involved. Uh, During the time before Trump, during the time after, we had a lot of issues in the world. As you know, I've been living in Russia for almost 31 years, and you might question my why. I'll give you a quick answer. It's called Daniel, Christina, and Sabrina, and I became a father over here of extra children. I had one son back in the states, and it's not about that. It's about being a father. So it's not for me about being a politician or about politics or anything of that way. For me, it's about my family and doing what's best for my family. Uh, I was separated, divorced back when my children were small. We have our own personal issues, but their mom and I are friendly to this day, which I think is great in this modern world. But when it comes to how the world operates, this has put a big strain on me with my family back in the States. Not from emotional, only from missing them, because I want to be able to go home and see my friends and family, and I haven't been home since my mother passed away. Um, some of this was due to my own situation here with work, because things change because work does change here, and the different fields change, and I've had to change hats many times since I've been living here, but I've always done it so I could stay close to my children. This is the point. Could I have came back to America and got a job? Probably, but as a father of two children from a divorce, if you've tried it, or some of you people understand that you cannot live uh, thousands of miles away from your children, and the pure cost of just coming back and forth is crazy. I mean, right now, I've been looking. I want to come home for a few days and see everybody. I haven't been around since my mother passed, as I said, but it's so expensive now. I mean, it used to be like $800, but now it's like $4,000. And don't you can't tell me any different, because I check the prices all the time. And this is like, you need to sustain yourself during this time and make sure you have money in your pocket. So just going back to the United States for like 2 weeks, you need a few $1,000s in your pocket just to get everything done. I mean, this is money to throw away. Forget about any savings you have. So this part of my life is my issue. I understand that. Let's go back into the reason I started this. We all have our reasons for everything, but I can't blame anybody for my situation. I mean, I've chosen my own path. But when you don't like somebody and you decide because you don't like that person, anything better, anything else is better, this is a mistake. And I feel sorry for President Biden. I watched him, and I feel that he was pushed out of office, but at the same time, I think that he probably really never was in charge, to be honest with you. I think that former President Obama and his crew was always in the background, and I think that might be a reason that some of you want to go through with Kamala Harris, because at the end of the day, even she said, and I think Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, said something about a vote for Kamala is a vote against Trump. This is not the way that you're supposed to think. You're supposed to be voting for a person that you think can do the best job for you and your family to get what needs to be done at home. You have elected leaders because you have your hands full every day, feeding your children, going to school, getting your job done. You have all your personal life around you, and we vote for people to put them in office to take care of us, to help take care of us, to build a better world for us. They're supposed to be strong leaders, not somebody because you don't like this other person. And you can't tell me, I mean, I watch the news probably more than a lot of people at home, and I get an outside perspective on what's been going on there. And from my point of view, I think that you really need to have done something before this point, you know? Don't just say, oh yeah, the world's going to hell and back in the handbasket, so let's just take 4 more years and throw it away. I mean, we have the huge conflict that we have from here with Ukraine. We have the situation in Israel. I mean, the world's falling apart. Nobody's afraid of anybody. And to be honest with you, if you watch the news, what's the fear about back home? Because what we see is like a dark comedy. There's nothing to show any strength anywhere. I mean, propping up wars in other countries, that's not strength. Come on, what is that? You know, causing conflict and watching the situation at home with the border control. Come on, that's crazy. I had to go through, you have no idea the loops I jumped through to get Natasha into America after she was already the mother of an American child the first time. And we had to go through all the interviews. We had to do everything. And we only got like a temporary visa. I had to prove that we had a home to live in there. We had to have proof that we'd come back to have a room. There was all these rules and regulations. We just didn't walk into the country. And this is a mother of an American citizen. So now the lives have changed. So, but I believe there should be rules, and that's okay. But now the situation in America is crazy. Come on, you've pulled the strings to every single budget we have. The social security system, the welfare system has to be in a deficit to the point of I have no idea of no return, and yet we still keep throwing money to other countries so they can fight. Yeah, it's smart, not really. So I think that America needs to be concentrated on America itself. I think that when you go to vote, you need to make sure that you're voting for the right reason. Don't vote because you have some disdain for some person because of something they said or something. Don't forget the days back when some things were accepted, like when I would go into the old Murphy Mart, say, hey, beautiful, how are you today? You know, or I'd bring somebody a flower. I mean, I was just being a nice guy and complimenting people, but now, God, I can go to jail for something. It's just so simple, you know. Complimenting, you have to be careful. The world was a different place. In Biden's days, when he was a young man, the world was a different place. Trump's days, when he was young, the world was a different place. They have to adapt not only to the changes in culture, the changes in our world, and also the mental way that we were brought up. I'm younger than them, thank God. But the point is you have to take all these things into consideration. At the end of the day, what's going to be best for you and your family? What's going to be the best choice for you as an economy? What's going to be the best choice for you as a citizen of this world? So when you vote, make sure you're think about things for the right reason, not for the wrong reason. Because I'm watching this, and I've watched this interview with Trump and with the ladies in I forget which society, and they like tried to nail him. Like, was she a specific hire? Do you believe Kamala Harris became vice president specific hire? All you have to do is watch Joe Biden when he went for the Supreme Court nomination. I want a black female for Supreme Court. Come on, guys. Not the best person for the job. I'm not saying that she wasn't. I'm just saying that this was part of the stipulation when he was choosing somebody. And when he chose Kamala, what did she have? What did she have? She didn't have a great track record. She didn't have a political record whatsoever. Now she's been the supporting vice president for him for this term. Nothing has been done. She was at one time considered the worst vice president in history. But now, because they decided to take Biden out, was still Obama. I still think Obama's the background place. But I think they decided to put her up there. You didn't have a choice on her. She was pushed on you. She is your choice now because they decided so, because they don't want to change too many buttons and whistles. But if you still think it's the best choice for you, then God bless you. But I really hope that you're thinking about your families. And I know a lot of people are going to say a lot of things negative about what I'm telling you now, but that's okay. I mean, you can say anything you want about me because I know who I am. I know who I pray to every day. I know my differences and right and wrong. And yes, I've made my share of mistakes in the world, so you don't have to retell me about them. My disputes with my former partners and my DUI I had in the States one time. But by the way, I was an emotional wreck at that time too, and I didn't have the support. So I don't have excuses. I was weak. And I try to become a stronger person every day. I try to set examples for my kids to be better than I was, because I'm not the right person to be giving you this speech. That's why I'm talking to you. It's the exact reason, because I'm a normal, everyday person who's made a lot of mistakes in my lifetime. And I really hope and pray that whatever you choose for this election, that you can live with that choice, and I hope that you've made the right one. And I pray to God that the world becomes a better place. I've said my piece. I've been waiting for this. There's nothing I can do from sitting on my couch in Moscow, Russia, and you can think about me what you will, but I still love America. I would love to be able to come home. I would love to travel and see my family more often, but I can't. It's just financially impossible, and with all the restrictions and everything else, and I have my family here. I will always take care of my family and friends. I have a lot of friends here. So when you're talking politics, don't talk about cultures. Don't tell people, oh, because you live there, you should do this. You have no idea. People here are very nice. People here are loving, caring. They have jobs every day. They feed their families. They go about their work every day just like you do back at home. So this is not a political issue. This is a cultural situation I'm talking about. Politics, they have the effect on things. Why I live here is because of my family. But at the same time, I like it here. And all the problems that we've had in the world, if you are going to talk about something, if you want to talk about the special operations that's going on, you should know the history. Don't just, oh, he's a bad guy, just like you do with President Trump, for example. He's a bad guy because they said he's a bad guy. Well, that doesn't mean he's a bad guy. And any good father takes care of his children. And if you love your country, you're going to do what you think is best for your country. That's the bottom line. So people have their choice, and I think you have your choice there too. So I think that you really need to pay attention to what you're doing, and I pray that you make the right decision, whatever it is. I've made my decision, but now you have to make yours. Anyways, God bless. Wishing you a great day. Love you. Take care. Regardless of what side of the fence you're on, you're my friend for other reasons. We didn't become friends because of political affiliations. We were just friends because we met over a beer, we met someplace on work or on vacation, and we're friends because of that. And I will never sacrifice a friendship about politics. I just don't talk about it. So, but when it comes to this, once again, I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm just telling you to make sure when you make your choice, make it for the right reason. God bless. Take care. Papa Don loves you. Take care. See you. Bye.